common denominators, common denominators, common denominators. The way that the world exists today. The way that the world exists today. Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone? The social media.
Bloviating.
The social media, the internet, the airwaves, the cell phone.
Worldwide. Bloviating.
The cell phone, like a word processor. Bloviating, like a word processor. The social media.
Bloviating.
A product of their environment.
You running for sure?
It is what it is.
Fucking in an empty way if his mom kissed him in that, right?
Environment that I grew up in.
Wider.
I'm the same age as their parents.
Wider. Bloviating.
And so,
Daddy.
they were exposed to the same environment.
Wider.
You know, I know what the thought process is.
You running for sure?
Big mess.
Like a word processor. Throw all that aside. The way that the world exists today. Common denominators. Bloviating. Hop on a bike and go.
You're way off topic.
Hop on a bike and go.
And you've completely gone off
We have
topic.
hop on a bike and go. You know,
Ride
you
the
bear
hell
them
out.
up.
You're
a
just
mess.
you're
a
just
mess. You're bloviating.
I got your back, Jeff. Now we're talking about Popeye's mom.
He's older than my mom is. He's older than my mom is.
The public perception. I respect.
Big mess.
Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone?
Bloviating.
The social media, common denominator, the internet, the airwaves.
Big mess.
Bloviating. I know. I've read a lot about that.
You're a mess.
You know, they're off base.
So that's your take.
I want one final factor if I could.
Well, you go ahead. Bloviate
Well-
all you want. Bloviate
well-
all you want.
Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone? Common denominators, common denominators, common denominators. The way that the world exists today. The way that the world exists today. Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone? The social media,
Bloviating.
the social media, the internet, the airwaves, the cell phone,
Worldwide. Bloviating.
the cell phone,
Worldwide.
like a word processor, bloviating, like a word processor, the social media,
Bloviating.
a product of their environment.
You
All right,
running
sir.
for sure?
It is what it is.
Fucking in an empty way if his mom kissed him in that, right?
Environment that I grew up in.
Wider.
I'm the same age as their parents.
Wider. Bloviating.
And so,
Daddy.
Harley Davidson, they were exposed to the same environment.
Wider.
You know, I know what the thought process is.
Daddy.
Harley Davidson. I've ridden in every state
Wider.
as far as modern day of you know, the information that's available out to them now. That
Bloviating.
different times. There's a lot of differences out there. It's different times.
Were there
Like,
certain
other
types
walks
of
life.
horses you guys like to ride? And
Daddy.
I haven't heard that one before. Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go. The social media, common denominator. Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go.
Big mess.
Bloviating. I know. I've read a lot about that.
You're
a
just
mess.
You know, they're off base.
So that's your take.
Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go. It is what it is. Hop on a bike and go.
You're asking yourself, what was that about? Well, let me tell you what that was about. That was some rants from Jeff and Popeye of the North Crew who came down to assist me with that episode. And for that, I'm forever grateful. Thanks, guys, for coming down. I will tell you guys that I had to edit this. This ranks number one in law-abiding biker podcast history. It ranks number one for the amount of time that it took me to post-edit, literally hours. I will tell you, God bless Jeff. I love him, and thank you so much for helping. He's a nose breather. And so there's a lot of noise breaths in here, and I try to take most of them out. He has a very low voice. I tried to bring the levels up. I had to cut a lot of stuff because, like I said, there was some straight ranting and talking about, I was asking questions to these guys, and they would get off on a tangent, and it had nothing to do with the question that I asked. So it was fun, and we enjoyed it, but there's still a lot of, you might hear a few of the cuts in the episode. I did the best I could, but it's still awesome content. This episode is not really as long as it listed. There is a special feature at the very end if you want to stick around after the music and everything's done and we're done with the official podcast. It starts back up, and it's just simply I think it's like 15 minutes of Jeff, me, and Popeye trying to talk and have a conversation, which is just very interesting, and I still don't quite understand it all. So you'll probably get a few laughs out about it, but obviously if you don't want to stick around, that you don't have to. But I just want to let you know that I put it at the very, very end of everything. If you want to check that out, you'll hear a lot of the stuff in the beginning snippet there, you'll hear a lot of those rants in there and where I got them from. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you checking back in and enjoy the show, huh? Law-abiding biker media.
Welcome to the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and it's the best podcast because it's my daddy's podcast.
Feel it, Popeye?
I'm feeling it. We're back, baby. We're back.
I don't feel it too hard.
I won't.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Law Abiding Biker Podcast. That's right, this is the podcast for the motorcycling majority of the big
99%ers, baby.
That's right, the big MM. We cover it all here. Of course, this is the podcast for all, that's right, all law-abiding bikers. We cover it all here. That's right. Roll the throttle back, kickstand up, hang on, as we come after you with another wild
That's right.
attaboy. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
of course, studio right.
This is a Popeye.
Popeye, studio right, and of course, he popped his cherry. Popped his cherry last episode, and this is his second episode he's been with us. Jeff, studio left. What's going on, buddy?
Just hanging out, trying to work this iPad here. I got it, I think.
Yeah. I gave Jeff the iPad so he can read the notes this time.
High-tech redneck, a run for his money.
Yeah, because the last time you were using your phone, and
It didn't last long.
apparently your phone isn't capable of reading.
Basically, just send
new age.
It does phone calls and texts. Is all it does.
Hey, at least it's not tethered to a cord. I'm just saying.
It's not mine either.
Well, is that works? Yeah, maybe. No?
Maybe not.
Oh, it's just an old phone he has. All right,
Old
yeah.
phone.
All right, guys, welcome back. Yeah, glad you guys tuned back in. Couple things real quick. Like I say, I do have Popeye in the studio and Jeff, and we got a couple things. I want to do a couple iTunes reviews abroad.
Yeah.
And not that kind of broad.
We like those kind of broads, though, too.
Yes, abroad, which I mean, I found a new deal, and I'll tell you guys about it, where I can see some iTunes reviews from around the world, because there are different iTunes markets, if you were not aware, and I became aware of that. And anyways, I found a cool tool. I want to talk real quick about the new Patreon page, if you listened to the last episode, and we'll get into that. We've got a really funny story that we're going to talk about, a news story, and it is factual.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And about a lawsuit, a motorcycle.
Sarge's going to have to listen to this one.
Well, he might, and he might know something about this.
Hopefully.
It might
If
even
not,
be
we'll
him.
educate him. We might be able to educate him.
It might be him in the article. They don't name him. Yeah. So, anyways, we got about 4 emails, and I'm sorry, guys. I like I told you in past, we get to them as we can, and unfortunately, I have can only get to 4 of them today. We're going to do the best we can, and then our main topic is why so many motorcycle clubs are popping up over the last, I would say, 8 years, to be fair. And they're just kind of popping everywhere, and we're going to talk about some of that. If we have time, we got a review on a windshield, but we'll see. We'll see where we get. We'll see where we go from there.
We don't know where we'll end up. We just don't know.
We don't know where we started. We don't know where we'll end up. But yeah, guys, like I say, the emails, I do have them cataloged, and I will get to them, and I throw them in episodes where I can. And so please keep sending them. Please keep sending the voicemails. It's been a while since we had I still have some voicemails to play. I'm just waiting till one of them is from Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
From Beans Baxter.
Yep.
Larry Baxter.
Larry Beans Baxter.
And so Larry...
Halibut fishing. Did you get us a boat up there, Larry? He did, actually. He told us he could get us some boats.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook all the time.
Pretty sure he said get some boats.
Yeah, and he's been a loyal listener and of the law-abiding, loyal supporter, I should say. Mm-hmm. And he's anyways, he sent a couple emails voicemails some time ago, and it's about that Alcon Highway. I want to follow up on that. So
right, yeah, we'll get to that one.
We will, and I'm sorry, Larry, but I need the right. I need LD and Popeye, since they're apparently Alcon Highway experts, as
pretty
they
much
put themselves off. And
hey, I've driven a lot up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure Larry's going to prove you both wrong. So, anyways, good job, Larry. Yeah, clap to Larry. All right.
You know who I want to have leave us some voicemails is some of these guys like John O'Keefe. You know, guys.
You voicemails right. He leaves us lots of emails, and he's involved on the Facebook page.
He's very involved.
He sent some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, he does. He got some IRA ties and stuff.
So I'm saying,
just kidding. Yeah, he doesn't.
I would not talk bad about him at all, dude. No. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure he could have his wax.
He can reach right through that mic and strangle you right
Probably.
now.
Probably.
All right, guys. A couple quick don't drink and drive. It ain't worth it, is it, Popeye?
No, it is not.
You don't want to get caught. You don't want to pay $5,000 for an attorney. You don't want to kill somebody. What do you think, Jeff?
Absolutely. The $5,000 is just a start.
That's right.
Something will follow you around for years, if not the rest of your life.
There you go. So get what we do with our club, the Sworn Few MC. Get yourself an Alcohawk breathalyzer, lawabidingbiker.com/Alcohawk. Get one, put it in your saddlebags. Know where you are as far as the legal limit goes. Don't ride. Don't take a chance. All right, guys, that is kicks us back a little bit. Don't forget, if you order something, Motorcycle Superstore, lawabidingbiker.com/Motorcycle Superstore, or /Rocky Mountain, which is Rocky Mountain ATV and MC. I have had good luck with them. I actually order a lot of stuff through them. So, you ordered anything lately, guys? What are you buying for your bikes? Anything? Besides your $10,000 seat? Jeff?
Yeah.
Your alligator snakeskin silver tip seat?
Alligator belly?
Yeah.
It's already done. No,
all right.
There's some things that I want to do with the back end of it as far as blackening it out, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Things you want to do with the back end of
I wasn't
LD
gonna
last
go.
episode too. You were talking about
Smoke lighting back there.
Smoke lighting.
Smoke lighting in the back.
Smoked lighting.
Yep. Just leave it. Leave it alone.
No, I've already priced it out.
Must be into something new.
It's a new fad.
Up and coming.
All right, guys. So, what's new, guys? Anything?
No.
Spit. Come on. Anything new in your life? You had any kids lately, Popeye?
I'm working on it. I haven't had any kids lately.
No? Okay.
Working on sleeving out. You didn't even say anything about that.
Oh, you know what? I've been so freaking tied up with all this podcast, and I've been releasing the videos lately. I'm seriously, dude, I am like a basket case a little bit. So talk about it. Talk about the ink, dude.
Just about halfway through. I'm going to go back in probably on Thursday.
I can't believe I didn't even...
Yeah, you didn't even say anything.
Hold it up.
Boom. For the listening audience, and holding it up for the listening audience.
That's nice, dude.
So working on it's about halfway.
I'm sorry I didn't even pay attention. I'm so used to tattoos and
about halfway done. I'm gonna go finish the rest of it here. Like I said, probably Thursday and get the rest of it dialed in.
Attaboy. Just do it, man.
Do it. Feels good. Do it. Just do it.
So
Sarge is getting ready to go get some stuff too.
May 1st. May 1st.
What are you getting, Sarge?
I'm having some work done May 1st. Don't really want to talk about it until I see how it turns out. It's a special one.
Yeah, it is. It'll be cool.
Got it lined up. Met with the guy. As a matter of fact, today before we took off to come the ride down here, and I just basically looked him in the eye and I said it in front of him. I said, "Can you do this?" And he said, "Yes, I can." So
he's like, "Are you sure you want it on your lower back?" Sorry.
No. So I meet with him on May 1st.
Are you doing it in town?
Yeah.
Okay. Through Mark's guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's done some work actually on one of my boys, and
he does good work.
He does good work. He does good work. This one though is kind of special. It's something that I really want to make sure that gets done right. And so I asked him, and like I said, I've seen some of his work before. It's very good, but something like this, he's honest about it. He was hesitant at first, but after we've gone over it for a bit, talked to him about it today. Can you do this? Yes, I can. So we're good to go.
All right, roger that. You got to move up on your mic for me just a little bit. I got your
Did
gain.
you hear any of it?
Well, I did. I got your gain. I got no more gain to adjust for you. So if you can get just a little bit closer, it'll work better. But anyways,
Talking to the mosquito netting. Right into the mosquito netting.
there you
Right
go.
into it. Huh?
Yep.
That's
right into
much
it.
better. All right.
So do I need to repeat it?
Pretend
No,
like you
no.
want to lick it.
I cranked the gain all the way up on the mixer, so I think I got enough.
Okay.
That's all right. No biggie. I just throw it
We're
out there.
mixing now.
It's only his second episode, so he's still working on
Newbie.
the mic.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But see, now he's going to yell at me about my breathing.
No.
We got to back up when you're not. You got to breathe.
If
Breathe
you're-
away
So
from
talk and get back.
it. Yes.
Right.
When you want to breathe, back
Say
up.
what you got to say and then kick
Yeah,
back.
and get the hell out of it.
Yep. You dive right
It's
in.
a work in progress.
Dive right in,
You
get
drive
her
right
done,
in.
and then back
Yep,
out.
That's what I do. I dive in
Hit it. Yeah.
and then back out.
Okay,
Just
I feel an F word coming
Yeah.
up.
Hit it, then quit it.
go ahead.
You went to college. Come on.
Let her fly.
All right. What do we got?
Where are we at here?
Well, we're
We got a
nowhere.
loaded ass episode. What we got?
That's right. We're loaded ass episode like usual. We're nowhere like usual.
Haven't gone anywhere.
Nope. We're pretty much just completely get off topic. So
do.
I wanted to talk a little bit about a little deal I found, and that is a little tool I found. Now, there's different iTunes markets around
Right.
the world. I wasn't aware of that.
No.
I mean, I figured that I'm learning stuff all the time. The high tech redneck. I'm always learning. I'm a sponge. But there's different iTunes markets out there, and so there's different reviews in different iTunes market. Well, the reviews that people leave here, or for whatever market we're in, the North American market, let's just say, we don't see everybody else's reviews. So I found this cool tool, and if you guys want to use it, you can go to, it's called ReviewCast, just like it sounds, all one word, reviewcast.io. And you can type in any podcast you want, Law Abiding Biker, and you can see it's an aggregator. It kind of aggregates all the different reviews from all around the world. And so that's the only way I can see reviews from other markets. So I'm going to start checking it regularly. So all of our listeners that are from out of, the United States or out of North America or whatever.
pretty cool.
So now I can actually see their comment. They've been there.
Very cool. We got all, we've been saying that forever. We got listeners from all over the place. Do you want to read some of these?
Why
some of
don't
these-
you, buddy?
Hey, why don't we? Like John O'Keefe over here in Ireland, he's been a loyal friend and true. He gives us 5 stars. Says top class show, boys. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, John O'Keefe.
Yeah, we got another one coming out of Australia, and this is from Charlie Caruana. I'm sorry
Yeah,
if I'm
spell it,
butchering
buddy.
your last name. Caruana. He says, "Wow, guys, I really love this stuff. I don't get to ride my Harley every day, and I need to commute to work by car. Now you have made my drive to work a little easier, knowing I'm about to learn a little bit more about my bike and have a laugh while doing so. I understand how hard it is to put something like this together week after week and in such good quality. My hat's off to you guys, and my next stop will be a little donation. Keep the good work." And that's from Charlie down in there in Australia. Thank you, Charlie. We appreciate it.
And I wanted to say that one from Charlie is Chumio, Australia. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like, Chumio.
Okay. That's his name that he uses, I think, on.
Could be.
It is. It's his name. You know how you can put anything in iTunes, like Joe Keefe. That's what he put from Ireland. That was back. John left that back in November of 2013, and Chumio from Australia left it back in. That's just their username, iTunes username, in November of 2013. So I'm sorry, guys, that I just found this new tool, and I will be checking for all our listeners from abroad, so to speak, so that we can make sure that we get you guys. We really, really appreciate your involvement, and we certainly don't want to leave you out. I wasn't trying to do that. I just had no idea that there was all these different markets. I thought if you left a review, I would see it, but maybe it would be in a different language or something. I didn't know, dude.
Yeah,
I have no freaking clue.
Australia, they got a different language down there.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
God, I hope that John can understand us.
Do you
and
think
was
there's
it
anybody in
Charlie
China
can
listen to
understand
us? There's got to be.
I don't know. They got a little.
I got to look
translator?
at our stats, dude. We do get listens. I track all that.
You do?
Oh yeah, I can tell exactly where people are listening. I can tell where people are downloading. I can tell what they're downloading it on, whether it's iDevices, whether it's computer, and by far it's mobile devices. That is the industry standard now for consuming podcasts is definitely
consumer.
mobile.
What else we got
devices.
here?
John O'Keefe, what does he ride?
I can't remember. Actually, I think he got. Pretty sure. Yeah, he did. I believe he got the. Yeah,
He
did.
got a street glide.
He did. He got the
It wasn't the
2014.
special. Wasn't the special
'Cause
because
they
he says
can't
you
get it.
can't get them.
That's right.
And it costs more than the special over here, but you can't get them. I remember that from previous
Very good.
podcast. Yeah.
I heard Western Ireland
Very
is
good.
about as beautiful a ride as you can get.
Well, did you hear that episode we did? He sent us. It was just the whole episode wasn't about it, but he sent us a. And I would have to go back. I can't remember off the top of my head which episode that was, but we put the map out of Ireland. He wanted everybody to know about riding the west coast of Ireland. And
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But
I put it in the show notes.
I had heard that already.
My wife's Irish.
Did
I'd
you?
like to get over there one of these days. Go ride.
I had heard that already about Western Ireland.
Yeah, and if you get it, I'll show you after the show. But he sent a map of that, and yeah, pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, be awesome.
Pretty sure they don't.
I just heard his name
They don't like
several-
beer over there, though. I don't know if we'd last.
I've heard you
probably
mention.
not.
I've heard you
Irish
mention
don't like
his
beer.
name several times, and I just hadn't heard what he wrote.
It's a dry country.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, it's a dry country.
That's right. But that's what's awesome. So all our listeners, what do you think about that, Jeff? You're being heard all over the world, not just here,
Little
not just
studio.
in your little one.
Look at you.
your
People want to hear
little-
what you have to say.
People like you.
Yeah.
They really, really like you,
I
Jeff.
think so.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done?
Is he doing that to me now?
Yeah.
There I go.
What did they think of me? I think they're tuning in. The Sarge is going to be on Tune In, dude. No, I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But it's just kind of cool, the idea of, well, like Mr. O'Keefe, as a for instance, that, he sits and listens over there, in a totally different, part of the world and different culture and whatnot. But, the common theme there, common denominator amongst all of them is, love of motorcycle riding no matter where you're from.
Amen.
Harley
And,
Davidson
Yeah,
motorcycles.
it's just kind of cool to be able to connect, even in a small way.
That is what the Law Abiding
yeah,
Biker
that's great.
podcast
And
is
it's great.
striving for.
And and I think it's really great that as for instance, again, Mr. O'Keefe, takes the time out to to send a note and say, hey,
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
appreciate it.
All right.
Where I get a ride that's really cool here this winter, since we're on cool places to ride, Hawaii.
Oh,
We're gonna take. We're going.
Are
to
you
the big,
really?
going to the Big Island, and we've already got plans. Gonna rent Harleys.
are you really? Who are you going with, man?
Going with a buddy of mine. He works for a neighboring agency. Him and me and my wife, and then him and his wife are gonna go over, and we're gonna rent some Harleys and tour the Big Island.
That's awesome, dude. I wish I could do that with you.
I'll let you sit on the back. Maybe.
Yeah, right. So that is a good segue. His email right there, where how he says, I understand. This is a great deal from Chumio from Australia, and I understand how hard it is to put something like this week after week in such good quality. My hat's off to you guys, and my next stop will be a little donation. Keep up the good work. That is great to move right into. And I announced it last episode, guys, and that is my Patreon page.
You did.
And
Cheers.
cheers to the Patreon page.
Patreon.
And I'll just explain it real quick again, guys. You can listen to the last episode, and I'm going to have, obviously, some links to it in this show, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever episode number this is. You'll get the show notes. Do you want to explain Patreon, or can you explain it? Either of you. Or do you want me to do it?
Basically, what happens is a person decides that they want to donate, they want to pledge. They can pledge however much they want per release of video or content, I should say.
There you go.
From the Law Abiding Biker studio. So if they want to pledge $5 per content coming out,
And we have it set at $1. You can
they could submit.
You can do as much as you want.
You could set it at $1. You could set it at $1 million if you want to set out $1 million per content coming out.
I like that talk.
Yeah, and we had 5 contents coming out per month. You'd owe $5 million.
Told you he was going to screw it up.
Yeah. But if you wanted to only pledge, if you wanted to pledge $1 per content, you wanted to set a max of, let's say, $10 per month. So
No risk, baby. No risk.
No risk, baby.
Yeah.
So if you just want to set it, $10, at a max
For a month.
all you'd be on the hook for if we even came out with $10.
If I came out with 1,000 episodes,
yeah,
you'd be on the hook for $5.
Yep, you came out 1,000. Yep, you're on the hook for the $10. I said 10.
Yep.
Basically, yeah, you're on the hook just for that 10.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
you
guys.
can go to our page. We have copious notes on all of our podcasts, and you'll be able to go there and you'll be able to see and look into more about what exactly this is about.
And it's Law Abiding Biker. It's the Patreon page, right?
The
So it's
Patreon page,
lawabidingbiker.com/
Patreon page.
Patreon.
Patreon. Sorry.
I could have did either, but I did Patreon.
Right. Well, you know.
So yeah, guys, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. You can learn all about it. And like I say, guys, he says how much work this is. Absolutely. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But I just want to tell you guys, we've already got 2 patrons. We announced them last, and you pledge, you know, like I said, I have it set as low as $1. And if you pledge more, there's certain rewards you get for pledging per content episode. You know, so you're looking at, you know, a couple, 3 episodes a month, 4 episodes, you know. And like I say, you can start at $1 and you can donate as much as you want, but it's risk-free. And it really, hopefully we can keep it going. And if everybody who viewed every video and listened to every podcast, just $1 per episode, that's it. So that's like $3 a month or $4 a month, you know, because I usually get 3 podcasts, 4 podcasts, and maybe a video, and not every month. So anyways, that way we don't have to put any sponsors. We don't have to seek sponsorship. We don't have to do any of that, which we are doing right now. We wouldn't have to put ads in, nothing like that. And instead of going subscription either, because that's another thing I've looked at, you know, going to something where you'd have to subscribe. And I don't want to do that, guys. I really don't. We want to, like I say, we're getting bigger and it's getting more expensive, just operating costs alone. And we want to keep ramping it up. And I do have a bunch of equipment. Should be up by the next episode.
It's going to be good stuff.
Good.
Moving up in the world.
We are
moving on
up to the sky. I don't know the rest. Yeah.
East Side.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what the old show was, right, Sarge?
No.
I'm sorry. I was.
Was
That
East
wasn't
Side
the
or
name
West
of it.
Side? Moving on up
Yeah.
to the. Isn't it East Side? It's not West Side, right? East Side.
No. Oh gosh.
Come on.
No. Give me a minute.
It wasn't. That's the name of the show?
No,
that's
no,
the
that wasn't
theme
the name.
song.
Yeah.
The theme song.
I gotcha.
Gosh.
It's
what
20
was
years
the
ago.
West-
You'll remember it.
No, longer than that. I think even the Jeffersons.
Yeah, it was
you
the
go.
Jeffersons.
The
but-
Jeffersons.
All right.
All right, what do we got here? We're moving on. Moving on.
Oh.
Ooh, we got a nice little story here. But
Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
To the side.
there we go.
That's what we're doing right here with Patreon.
It's time
Preach it.
I'm pretty sure I'm not getting an apartment.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, baby.
to the side.
All right.
Okay.
Jeff's over there just like,
What the hell is going on here?
yeah.
He just passed away like last year. The star of that show. I don't remember what his name of that actor, but he was a real funny guy.
Yeah,
He made that show work.
he did.
It was kind of an offshoot of All in the Family, wasn't it?
Was it, or was that after? All in the Family was after, I think.
Well, it was after All in the Family. I think it was kind of an offshoot because there have been episodes in which, you know, they're all based out of New York City.
Yes.
And I think that it was kind of an offshoot because the main character actor in the Jeffersons, and of course Archie Bunker, because they were different races, of course
Archie
they didn't
Bunker.
get along. And so I want to say it was an offshoot of that show, I think. Mm-hmm. But
So-
they're both real funny.
They are. I liked them. I watched those growing up. They don't have good TV anymore.
They don't.
I'm just telling you that right now. They don't.
Deadliest catch.
So we are not. That is good. We are not moving up in the world. I'm not going to move to an apartment in the sky, but with Patreon, you can at least help support us, guys. So, anyways, enough about that. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. We got way off subject there.
We're spinning the wheels,
No,
baby.
that's how
We're
we roll.
spinning the wheels.
That's how we roll. We got a awesome news story that we wanted to talk about for you guys. So let's get right into that news story. Do you know what the topic is there, Popeye?
I do. We're talking about a guy that has a little issue while riding his BMW, or maybe from his BMW.
All right. So, news story of the day, guys. News story of the day. It reads BMW, quote, persistent erection, lawsuit dismissed. Seriously, do you want to talk about this, Popeye?
Oh, this is pretty funny. So this guy, he's down in San Francisco. A superior
Wait, where?
San Francisco treat.
That starts it right there.
Yeah. So Superior Court down in San Francisco. This guy.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Breaking news. We're back live. That's it. Sit down in San Francisco. Superior Court decides to throw out this guy's lawsuit. He's got a deal. He's claiming that he brought on a suit against, I think, did he bring against BMW and Corbin seat?
It looks like Superior Court of San Francisco has dismissed a lawsuit against BMW and Corbin-Pacific, which I assume
Right,
is
Corbin
seats.
It's Corbin seats, right? It says it later.
Hey, do you have a Corbin seat?
I used to.
Okay, did you?
I shouldn't have got rid of it.
I wouldn't have.
I
You probably eBay that son of a gun for.
I could have got a whole lot more money if I would attach this article. So basically, this guy's got a '93 BMW, and he's got a Corbin seat on it.
Yeah.
And what happened was,
Those BMWs in those
they-
Corbin seats.
Oh, they'll turn you on, man. Ooh, I don't know how you deal with them.
Oh,
It just that's just the start of every porn right there.
you know it is. And we're talking about motorcycle porn.
Motorcycle porn. So this guy gets an erection that lasts, he says, for several months. And
Oh yeah, work it.
gets an erection that lasts for several months and decides to sue these manufacturers because of
because the vibration of the motorcycle.
is what caused it. So
Now-
he says.
Right.
So what?
So what I want to say, if this is the case, if that's the case, why is BMW not the best-selling motorcycle in the world?
Well, I was gonna try.
If
to
it'll
get,
straight up give you an
Right,
erection while
exactly.
you're riding, dude.
Right.
What? The only thing better than riding is riding with an erection.
Yeah.
Jeff.
There should be posters all over the place. BMW motorcycles everywhere.
I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this specific
Playboy.
motorcycle.
Why
in-
hasn't BMW been on the cover of Playboy?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good
Jeff's on
point.
board. Yeah.
I'm trying to get this specific motorcycle and seat down here for Sarge. I'm trying to get the thing delivered.
Dude. So Corbin Seats is being sued and BMW Motorcycles being sued. They claimed this man, and I'm pretty sure that it's we don't know the name. Could have been Jeff. I don't know.
Probably.
But it could, I don't know. I'm just saying that this man claimed a motorcycle ride gave him an erection that lasted for several months. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, baby.
Corbin should have been proud. I don't know why they didn't let this go.
Dude, Viagra can't even do that.
Bring it on.
Yeah, they're worried about 4 hours.
Bring it on.
They're worried about 4 hours, let alone months.
If you're Corbin and you're BMW, dude, I'm just saying you got to market this.
Oh, yeah. What incredible.
You just put Viagra right out of business.
Oh, you would. You would.
2 freaking months. Mm-hmm. You know what? You don't. You
So
go
it
to.
doesn't snow down there. It doesn't snow in San Francisco. So you'd be able to all year.
So here's how I see it, dude.
BMW condoms and
That's there you go.
Yeah.
See, you're thinking like a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So here's you go into the doctor, man. This is what I'm thinking, and you're like,
We prescribe you
Yeah, a
to go ride a
BMW.
BMW.
and a Corbin seat
Yep.
because you're going to have an erection for 2 months, and
Yeah.
Viagra can't do that for you. So that's what I'm thinking. Well, doc, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that. So this guy, now it was a 1990. There's a specific model. You
that
can't
could
just
be
use
it.
any
No,
model.
I'm sure you can't.
You can't. I've tried.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I bet you have.
I've tried this after reading this article, and I rode my Harley. I really drilled down on that seat, and I couldn't get.
Couldn't get the same sensation.
And I even
huh?
went fast, and there was vibration, but I'm just saying,
Not enough to stimulate anything.
it
huh?
lasted. It moved,
Did it?
but it didn't it didn't last for several months.
Flop from the left to
By
the
the time
right.
I got in the door to grab the old lady, it was gone.
Yeah.
So I'm sending my Harley back and getting a BMW.
A 93. A 93.
So my
BMW.
wife sold my bike and said she's getting me a 1993. A K110RS.
What else is funny about this article is that they've got all these guys.
What else could
in
be
here,
funnier about
like
a priapism?
Like a urologist. They bring a urologist in who testifies that the plaintiff's injuries were consistent with a motorcycle ride. Say what?
So what I want to know,
How many times you go on a ride on a motorcycle ride? I mean, who's this? Who is this doctor who thinks you're getting a hard on a motorcycle ride all the time?
well, dude, here's what I'm thinking. So you go in,
Not
and
that
how
that
does
motorcycle riding isn't a lot of fun, but
does the doctor look at the priapism, the woody, or does he have to
I don't
feel
know.
it for denseness?
breaking things.
Because you're pretty sure you have to. Okay, what is a priapism? Does he have
It's
does he have a stiff meter? Like how stiff it is?
Yeah.
Jeff, you're just quiet over there.
He didn't know anything about this.
No, let me tell you what I'm doing here. Have you checked out any of the posts on this article?
No, I didn't even know there was.
Oh, okay,
See,
yeah.
he's way ahead of us.
Look at you, high-tech redneck, taking over.
That's what I do when I give him an
Here,
iPad.
the first post: sell the Beamer and buy a Harley. This will cure that. Okay. Here's the good one, though.
That's not good for
Here's a good
Harley
one.
owners.
No. Here's the good one. He says, I had exactly that combo, a 93 K110RS with a Corbin seat. I won't say it had the same effect on me, but those months spent as a special guest of that college sorority will not soon be forgotten.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad you found those comments. See, you give the guy an
there's a
iPad.
bunch out the bottom pretty good. I think he was just happy that his wife finally let him get a motorcycle after all of these years.
Oh, geez, dude. And we can keep going, dude.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
So this doctor goes in and he testifies, right?
Yeah, that's what caused it. How do you
testify to that? Well,
I don't know.
He
he sat in a chair
he
just
sat in a
fine. He
chair.
never got a hard on sitting in the chair.
and I looked at it.
Yeah.
and it was
flaccid.
It was pointing hard.
Flaccid. It was flaccid sitting
Flascid's
in the chair.
word, because that's a good court word.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want
Yeah,
to just
no.
say he was hard as a rock.
No. Flaccid
he
is
was
what limp. Flaccid is limp, guy. Or you're way off.
Oh, dude.
So flaccid, you'd have to have
It's a
you'd
good
have
tech term.
Yeah, you'd have to have a somewhere to start, a baseline. There you go.
That's a good
you have to have
baseline.
a baseline.
Flaccid
so when he
does
sits
point
in
a
his
picture.
chair, when he sits in his chair just watching the news, then he's flaccid. But when he gets on his 93 BMW, sound please.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Gets on his 93 BMW.
I can't.
He's always behind. There you go. I mean, there we go.
There you go.
So yeah, and I don't know if he's just down there copping a feel to, is that the measurement?
I just want to know, was he like,
I don't know.
was he like laying on his stomach while he was riding, or I don't get it, dude. Or was
it's hard to say.
Do you think he like flung it over the tank and let it sit on the tank, and the vibration was coming through the metal, or what, dude?
I'll tell you what, if I could fling mine over the tank, I'd be riding whatever you wanted me to ride to be able to do that test.
What's better is they have a freaking picture on this article
Yeah.
of a piston. They got to examine the pit. Okay, the court tossed out portions of video testimony. Oh, here's Dr. Jonathan Rutchick, a neurologist. Okay, who pinned its possible who opined it is possible vibrations from motorcycle could cause priapism, citing studies conducted in Japan. All right. I'm looking here, and the court deemed that they're irrelevant, and they were speculative, and they show it. Like I say, this piston. I'm trying to get at what this piston is, dude. I guess they're saying this particular piston is what caused the particular vibrations that cause a boner, not a flaccid priapism, a boner.
A raging
Jeff
hard.
laughed when I said boner.
Yeah.
I heard him. He's getting old. All right, so the court accepted
Giddy
the
like a
testimony
schoolgirl.
that he is getting giddy over there, and so they accepted testimony. Here we go. The court accepted Mechanich's testimony that the plaintiff did suffer from priapism, but it was ruled that doctor was not qualified to offer an opinion on whether the mechanics of Wolf's BMW motorcycle were the direct cause. So what it comes down to is they struck the testimony down. This went all the way. Believe it or not, this is what our courts are busy doing. This is good,
Always
very
Supreme
good
Court.
use of our court
Yeah.
system.
How much do you think this cost?
The San Francisco Superior Court, thank you, because I'm sure they see a lot of really cases that are necessary. Sorry if you live in San Francisco. We love all our San Francisco. Actually, we're going there this summer. Straight
California.
up,
I wouldn't discuss that right now.
California.
we're going to Cali, baby.
Oh, Cali.
And so we love San Francisco. We love California. It has nothing to do with anybody that lives in San Francisco. I'm not going to lie to you. Your courts are messed up, and so is the Ninth Circus.
Yeah.
We call it the Ninth Circus Court of Appeals, and anybody on the West Coast knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I guess he's got to keep the motorcycle and continue to have 2-month boners, or he's going to have to man up and get some other bike. So yeah, he lost. Oh, Mike Corbin, chief executive producer of Corbin-Pacific. All right, that's a ridiculous, true story though, dude. I can't believe, how does something like that get past? How does a judge let that go past the? Because right, because on lawsuits,
you're gone.
You got it. Anybody can file a lawsuit, but how did it make it? I guess it only made it to Superior Court. So never mind. I guess you can be heard in Superior
That's
Court.
pretty easy one
How
to
much
get
was he
to.
suing for? What's a boner worth these days?
Oh,
So I
Sarge?
mean, Sarge,
Sarge?
What's that worth? I'm talking in monetary terms. What's a persistent boner worth? What do you pay a guy with a persistent boner?
I guess it depends on how long.
Besides a cheap whore.
What are they charging for pills nowadays?
Bigger's better.
Yeah, well, I don't know even how you put a monetary value on a flaccid priapism. Flaccid
one?
priapism. That's the proper term.
Well, flaccid is not hard.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Flaccid is flaccid. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Yeah.
Moving on.
So I don't know how you put a price on that, dude. But anyways, BMW. Yep.
Well, I do. It's called what are the little blue pills? Sarge Cutting. What are those things called?
No idea.
You're trying to set them up, dude.
What are they called?
I'm reading.
He is. All right, guys. So I'm
All
gonna.
right, we got some emails here.
Believe it or not, I'm gonna put this in the show notes because it is a worthwhile story.
It's pretty funny.
And it's funny. And yeah, so that's what our courts are spending their time on. What do we got for?
We're going to emails.
We are going to emails. And all right, why don't you, Popeye, go ahead and round off with the first email.
Yeah, you bet. All right, for our first email, we got a pretty good one here. It comes from Rob Grazian.
Yay! I got mail!
Getting in the email bag.
Like I said, from Rob Grazian from down there in Texas. He says, Labs, howdy from Texas. Howdy. Yeah, similar to your Irish accents, which your drawl also needs some work.
Is it draw or drawl?
Drawl.
All right.
It's drawl.
It's drawl.
Yep. But don't feel bad. I grew up here and I do not sport a drawl. Now, onto oil. I bought my 5-year-old son a Honda dirt bike for Christmas. I also have a Honda dirt bike and a new 2014 Street Glide. As I mentioned earlier in an email to Ryan, I'm new to Harley-Davidson, but I am not new to motorcycles or maintenance. I have been looking for a good synthetic oil to use in my dirt bikes to replace the Honda Dyno GN4. I've read good things about the AMSOIL, and your podcast came at the perfect time. I also plan to try it on the Street Glide when I complete the 5,000 mile service. I'll let you know how it does. Lastly, if you're reading this ad if you're reading this and considering buying Ryan's oil change service inspection video in capitals, do it! ! It's thorough, informative, and nicely done. And may I add, step by step without skipping.
It doesn't say that. Get out of there.
It doesn't.
You're done, dude. Finish the dang
Informed,
email.
nicely done. I also included a donation. And
Thank
here's where
you.
it gets good. My only request is that you guys use it towards the podcast adult beverage fund.
Yeah, buddy.
Have one on me from Rob in the Lone Star State. Thank you, Rob. We'll have one on you. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rob Grazian. And I think that we're saying it right, Grazian. But
So?
yeah, dude. Thanks for the props, buddy. And sorry it took so long to get to this. Like I said, I've got a lot of emails, and I will get to them show by show. But what he's referring to is, which I have sold quite a few copies this week, believe it or not. I've had the emails coming in each time a sale. And that is lawabidingbiker.com/2014 Harley Maintenance. Now, I have the free one on YouTube that has, I haven't looked in weeks, and but it was up to well over 250,000 views. But this one is the for sale, and it's way, the one on YouTube I get comments daily on it. And this one for sale is well worth it. And the guys that are buying it, like him, just sent me an email, took the time to send me an email after he bought the video. And yeah, so thank you for that. And he's also referring to our AMSOIL episode.
Yeah, the AMSOIL episode. That's good stuff. AMSOIL, I run it in my stuff, and yeah, it's good.
What is the link to that episode? lawabidingbiker.com/episode 26. So lawabidingbiker.com/26. All about AMSOIL and synthetic. I send guys like weekly. Like I get several emails a week about AMSOIL and whether guys should use it and stuff. So I always send them to that episode.
Yeah.
So 26, episode 26.
You bet.
Check it out. Speaking of, real quick, we didn't talk about it.
We didn't?
Speaking of videos, is the new auto tuner video out that I have. The for sale video, highly
came
requested.
out, right?
It did.
Just came out.
By the time this episode comes out, it will have been out for a little while. lawabidingbiker.com/auto tuner. That's in follow up to /power commander and the number 5. Yeah, highly anticipated, highly requested. Finally got it out. And if you're on the email list, make sure you get on it because I gave out coupon codes. And on our last podcast episode, I gave out coupon codes. So you got to be on the email club if you want to get it first. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. It's free, no spam, and you will get everything first. And you'll also get everything first right here on the podcast. So hopefully you're on that email list. If not, get on it, and you'll get a coupon code for the auto tuner video, which is already sold
Oscar,
a ton of copies.
Ain't that coupon good? Coupon code Oscar?
If it's still good on this episode, by this
true.
episode.
It's going to be a while out.
But if it's still available, the coupon code is Oscar. All lowercase, all one word, and you can get a discount on that video. Why don't you, who wants to handle the next? Let's keep diving into the email
Sarge, you
bag
on this
here.
next email here?
Got it.
Got it. Go ahead and read it.
The gentleman's name is Rick Besser. He's from Lacey.
Lacey, Washington, right across the mountains.
Not too far.
He says, "Hi, Ryan. Wonder
Hi, Rick.
if I might ask you a question about switching from standard oil to synthetic. I have 1,000 miles on a 2013 Fat Bob and want to switch. How do I make sure and get all of the oil out of the crank? Is there a trick to it? Thank you in advance and love your site. Also, the Europeans do as well." You know,
Here's what I would say. If you want to get all the oil out of the crank, I would get the 1993 BMW and I would ride it at high speeds. And I'm just saying,
You know, is it-
that's one for me.
is
One
it-
for me.
is it really that big a deal to be? I mean, a lot of synthetics are blended.
There you go.
And so
you're
I don't
answering
think
the
it's-
question. Look at Jeff. He's just moving.
I mean, it's
Look at
not-
him. He's
it's not
answering
real-
questions now.
Yeah.
It's not real critical when you switch to a synthetic
At all.
that you have the crankcase completely devoid of any of the previous oil.
Devoid.
I mean, because eventually after a couple of different oil changes, you know, all of the old oil will be out of there. And if you have a little trace of the previous oil in there with your synthetic, it's not going to hurt anything at all.
Yes. See, look at he's answering questions now, dude.
Man,
I like it.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
He's coming
a
back.
wealth of knowledge.
I'm gonna get him and Oscar on here. Devoid.
No. Don't compare me with Oscar. There's no.
Oh, you have a
comparison
wealth
there.
of experience.
Well, experience maybe. Knowledge, go to Oscar.
Okay. The origin of devoid. Middle English. Past participle of obsolete. It says adjective entirely lacking or free from.
Yeah.
Lisa kept her voice devoid of emotion.
Wow.
See, I'm learning new stuff from
at you.
bringing smart guys down here,
He's
dude.
a wealth of knowledge.
He is.
Anyway, Rick, I would say, just to take this over here, I wouldn't be too worried when you switch over to synthetic. I wouldn't be too worried about any traces left in the crank from the previous oil.
Nope.
Within a couple of oil changes, you'll be
Yeah, you'd be good.
because a lot of this, like I said, I used to use blended synthetic on my truck. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, they sell synthetic blends with a certain percentage of
Never mind the crash in the studio.
regular oil. So I wouldn't worry at all when you switch over to synthetic. Just do it. Don't be too worried about what's left in the crankcase because eventually next oil changes are probably all out of there by then anyway. And it won't hurt a thing.
Yeah.
Good answer. And that was my basically response to him. And I already sent him via email, but I wanted to cover it with the listening audience. And yeah, Jeff's absolutely right. Don't worry about a thing. Just mix it together and it'll eventually work its way out of there. And again, my number one response would be get the 1993 BMW, ride it hard, and empty your crank of anything you'll void. Devoid, is it devoid? I don't even know if I
Devoid. Get it out of the crank.
get a priapism, clean your crank out, and you'll be good to go.
Yep.
All right, this is really immature in here tonight with Jeff here.
Yeah,
he's so immature.
Yeah. For being so mature, he's so immature.
Look at he's just over there looking at us, dude.
Yeah.
He's just like, am I really?
I'm glad we took his firearm away.
We're talking like, yeah, he's like, am I with a couple 10-year-olds? Pretty much. Pretty
I
much.
already told my wife about the theme song. She loves it. She loves it. She does.
See, she
Yeah.
thinks like me.
She loves it. Yeah.
It's you. It's you. All right. What do we? Also, real quick. Again, that was in reference to episode 26, lawabidingbiker.com/26. If you want to listen to that Amsoil episode. All right. Who wants to go?
We got a longer one here.
Who gets the straw? Let's keep.
I'll take it.
We're halfway down the email bag. Keep diving down.
Keep
Drill
diving
down.
in.
Drill
Keep
down.
diving in.
That's right.
Dive in. So this is a little bit longer one, and this is going to have to do with episode 38, Law Abiding Biker episode. If you go to www. The World Wide Web,
Thanks, because nobody knows that.
Lawabidingbiker.com/38. We had a debate
Attaboy.
about belt drive versus chain drive. So Dick Curtis writes
This is
in-
funny, so pay
Yeah,
attention
it
to this
is.
email,
This
guys.
is an interesting one.
Because he educates a little bit.
He
here.
does, and I had a lot to think about. And
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, here we go. We'll dive right in.
Dive in.
I have my own experience to share regarding your belts rules versus chains drool episode. First, I think you should have stressed the type of drive shouldn't be the deciding factor. They all work well, and it's not practical to change from one type to another, so pick your bike and just do the maintenance that needs to be done. Second, lubrication takes about 5 minutes every other fuel stop. There are easy ways to keep it from being messy. Auto oilers are available for $50 and up if you prefer that route. Modern chains don't stretch until it's near replacement time. Over 50,000 miles, you can expect to replace it 4 times. So for $400 basically. Sprockets twice during that 50,000 miles, which is about $160. Lube, well, that's going to be about 150 times. Let's guess a can of lube does it 10 times at about $8 a can, which is going to equal about $120. So he's saying about $680 in parts is basically what it comes to.
How much lube do you need for the 1993 BMW? Sorry, never mind. Just go. Sorry. I can't get off that. Stupid.
Add labor cost if you're not doing it yourself for $400. Breakage is a non-issue, he says, because since most chains use a riveted master link, changing sprockets is common on the metric bikes. It can be done by the side of the road in about 15 minutes if you wanted to do so, unless you rode, in some type of a track or some type of a race setting. Metric bikes turn about 9,000 RPMs or even faster. A gear change can put you in the optimum part of the power band.
Power band.
Yeah. For whatever style of you're riding. You don't do that with the big twins like the Harleys, the Victories and whatnot, because you have a big torque available over the entire RPM range.
Big torque.
So what this sounds to me like is, like I said, he I don't know. I'm looking at kind of both sides of the argument. Is that I don't know if he's trying to say that it's not that much in maintenance to do it and it's fairly easy. But when I looked at that, I went, holy moly.
Yeah.
That's
right.
a lot of maintenance. It's like, why do I want to do that if I can go get a belt drive and not have to deal with any of that?
Yep. Here's the deal. And I'm so glad Dick Curtis sent this email in, but some bikes just come with it, and that's the way it is. Mm-hmm. But I think and that's what I like about the law-abiding biker community is, we get on here and we give you our experience and our life experiences and,
Some have more than others.
Yeah, right. Some of our opinions and things like that. And, but I like when Dick Curtis here sends an email back and he basically gives us some updated education. That's what this forum's for, guys. So Dick spoke up here and he's actually told me some things that I wasn't aware of. Chains are a lot, more like he says here, advanced, and he brings up some good technical points. And I was just going from my experience, but so there you go. So if we made it sound like chains drool, which is awesome, we kind of did on that episode, and that was based on my experience and current people that I ride with that have chains. But if you do end up with a bike with a chain, it's not going to kill you. Would I choose to get a chain still? Absolutely not. That's just me though. I have nothing against them, but if you want a bike with a chain, go for it. And like the sports bike, you got to have them, because of width reasons and all that. But again, episode 38 covers that in depth. But thank you, Dick Curtis, for that updated information. And there you go.
It's a good email.
Yep, it is. And we threw it out to the law-abiding biker community. So there you go. There's some more information from a guy that obviously is educated with chains and obviously probably rides a bike. Did I read that in there, or does he just talk about him?
I have to assume that he rides a bike.
He
He's
doesn't
talking about
mention,
BMWs and whatnot.
he doesn't mention a specific model in here.
Oh, wait, yeah, my bad. I was looking at a different one. He's talking about metric bikes. So I'm assuming he's got to be riding. He's got to be.
I would assume he knows that much about chains and the cost and everything.
If he's listening to us and he's talking about metric bikes, I'm going to have to assume that he's riding.
Yeah, I agree. And when I talk about metric bikes, I'm thinking a lot of like sports bikes and stuff, because most of the cruisers, not all, but have the shaft drives or the belt drives or stuff like that. But anyways, they do make them, and it's still a viable option, and you need to make your based on that episode 38 and based on Dick's information there, you choose what you want to get.
The sprocket and the chain it's a bigger deal for the hill riding and whatnot.
Well, yeah.
Correct me. I mean, I remember growing up, we used to do a lot of hill riding and whatnot, and the size of the sprocket, the teeth and whatnot was a big variable. But now I'm way too lazy for that.
Yeah.
Just put the belt on and just.
That's my take is no matter how you argue it, any way in and out, it's a belt drive for me. It's just, I don't have to do anything. Takes care of itself. So there you go, guys. But thanks, Dick Curtis. We got the information out for you. And anytime you guys, want to add or to our content, we will put it out for you guys, even if it's in contrary to what we said. Yeah. Because we are learning as we go too.
Good stuff.
And that's how we help each other here in the community is by listening and learning from each other. We got the platform. We'll put it out for you. All right, guys. What do we got next? Are we still digging deep into this? Are we digging deep into the mailbag?
Oh, we're digging deep. We got another email.
Keep diving.
Cover some good stuff. Sarge, you want to cover this one?
There you go. Hang on. He's getting his glasses. Let me give you guys a visual. He's bending over. Hang on. He's got a kink in his back. Hang on. Nope. He's good. Now the iPad. He's got the iPad and he's
got it.
He's shaking his fist.
A gentleman from Deep Haven, Minnesota. Tom, and forgive me, Tom, I'm going to give it a try. McGoldrick.
Yep, McGoldrick. Okay. Deep Haven, Minnesota. Wow. Haven, Minnesota. How about that, Sarge? What do you think?
Minnesota.
I'm from originally from near there. Got a lot of North Dakota.
I thought you were from Bethlehem.
North Dakota, South Dakota.
North Dakota.
All right.
So been to Minnesota many times. Beautiful there.
Yes.
Says, hi guys, love the podcast. It truly appeals to the wide variety of riders beyond even metric bikes. A spacesuit wearing, BMW riding, eat every meal in a different state type of rider like me can enjoy the show.
I got to say, Tom, do you ride a 1993 BMW in your spacesuit? Because that'll get caught up in your spacesuit.
And get that caught in the zipper.
You'll get it caught in the zipper straight up. 2 months.
How'd you get the Frank above the beans?
No, he's been on the road for longer. He's been on the road for longer than that. It says here, good to go on. He says, I've been riding since the 80s.
Oh, geez.
And am amazed at how much more there is to learn. It has been an education for me on bike clubs, the whole issue of patching in and club organization. I thought episode 37 was particularly good. I love to watch a tight and professional group flow down the road. It is truly a thing of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think most people realize how difficult it is to do well and safely. To do it well and safely. If you ever see a rider in a faded spacesuit cruising down the road on a red BMW, don't forget to wave back. Thank you, Tom.
Awesome. And I was just looking it up while you were reading that because you referenced episode 37. So I was looking up here on the iMac. Episode 37 was riding motorcycles in a biker club environment, group motorcycle riding dynamics. So there you go. A guy who rides since the 80s with a BMW, whatever is this show still talks to him is what he's saying. Because we don't just talk about clubbing, we talk about everything. So here we go. So many clubs popping up over the last 8 years. I see a ton of you, and this isn't law enforcement related. This podcast is for the law-abiding biker, which is the 99% of the motorcycle majority.
The big MM.
Whether you're in a club or not, this will pertain to you. I know that even if you're not in a club, you've seen it. We see tons of law-abiding biker clubs popping up everywhere. It's gotten really popular. It's gotten mainstream with the media and some TV shows and things like that. And so I'm going to talk more. I want to keep it open to all law-abiding biker clubs, but I am going to dive a little bit into law enforcement motorcycle clubs only because that's, my full-time profession. So I'm a little more knowledgeable about that. However, I have dealt with and have friends in other law-abiding biker clubs that are not police officers, but they're in lab clubs. So anybody want to start this? You want me to start? Yeah, you got nothing. All right. Anyways, so just kidding.
As I'm about to speak, I take a breath. You've got nothing.
I caught a little off guard. I will have.
Okay. Well, let me open up with.
Why don't you go ahead?
All right. Let me have
go ahead. You go ahead and start it.
All right. So here's my take. I see, and I know Jeff can probably attest to this, and maybe not. Maybe he'll just say, go pack sand. But I'm going to say it anyways.
There used to be a big drawing of the horse-drawn carriages, and everybody wanted to have.
We're off track.
Hold on.
Okay. You want me to mute him?
I'm done.
No, let him
I'm
finish.
done.
Let him
I'm
finish.
done.
Finish. He doesn't stop until he's
God, I
finished.
tell you what.
So, you know,
I'm so devastated.
I've been in, you know, law enforcement field for about what we were talking about at dinner, 19 years now. And I will tell you that even when I started, and I know Jeff has more years as far as service time than me. And in fact, we were talking 30. 30. So he's got 10, 11
I was 2
years on me. Popeye's got like 5. And he was born. I don't know. Whatever. So,
He hasn't learned a thing.
but anyways, I see it, and maybe you do too, Pop. I see it in a different, because how many years do you have on? Sorry, I was just teasing, but
almost 8.
okay, so 8. So maybe you've even seen it in your time, but the brotherhood of police work, what we do, was drastically different when I started 19 years ago. It has changed profoundly. I will use big words for you, Popeye. It has changed profoundly over the last 19 years as far as how close we are within a law enforcement agency. And I've worked for different agencies. I was a reserve, and then I worked 11 full-time for another, and then I switched. So I've seen it. So it's not just because I come from one particular agency. I have seen, the different styles and things. But I will tell you that when I started, we were very, very tight-knit, and the people you worked with, and the brotherhood, and the backstabbing, and a lot of the internal politics. Now, it's always been there. I know that. I'm not dumb to that fact, because I do know a lot of retired guys and stuff, and have a beer with them now and then. But I just know probably the first 5, 6, 7 years of my law enforcement career, it was your brotherhood came from where you worked. I mean, we moved, and I remember painting my house, and guys would come over. What I get from this club now, I got from my law enforcement brethren back then. And we had to move, and you had, 10 guys show up to help you move. Like I say, painting the house. If you were sick, they would come over and take care of you. You knew that, your spouse was taken care of. Not in that way. That was probably happened too, but,
It still happens.
It was just this tight-knit brotherhood, and I didn't need to go elsewhere for it. Now, I always rode motorcycles. When I first started, I didn't have a bike at that time in law enforcement. I had sold my bike. That was a dumb mistake. But anyways, so over the years, and I think that it transfers over to regular law-abiding biker clubs too. I have family that works in other industries. My brother's a bigwig for I can never say this word, horticulturist. Mm-hmm. Horticulture.
Horticulturalist.
That's a hard one. Horticulturalist. Anyways, he's a bigwig, and like number 3 in command at this huge. They own I don't know how much farmland, but so I talk to other people. I have other people that work in private industry, and I get the same feed from them that even back then, just the way the world's changed, is you got a lot of that brotherhood and that connection at work. Well, now when you go to work, and like I said, I've worked at different places. Now you have your close friends. I agree. Okay, I agree, but there are few. I don't know if that's fair. You guys will we're going to do a round table, so you guys are going to have make mental notes or write down, because if you don't agree or you have a different viewpoint than me, maybe it's just the world I'm in. But you don't have that. You don't have the brotherhood at work anymore. So I see a lot of people, lab clubs. I see, and of course TV has made it popular. I get it. Some of the shows out, they want to think they want to be in a motorcycle club and stuff. So that's been some buzz lately, and they start and maybe they don't, maybe they aren't very loyal and they end up not doing it or whatever. But you see all these clubs popping up. So from my perspective, that's why I get from this motorcycle club that we're in, the Sworn Few MC, what I used to get at work many, many years ago with that tight brotherhood. Like I said, if I need to paint in my house and I called you guys at all costs, I have no doubt if you guys could make it, aside from you couldn't get a day off work. I know if my family was sick, you guys, and vice versa, I would be up there in Wenatchee. And just recently, one of our fellow law enforcement retired. He's with the Blue Knights. He got sick and had some blood clots. And I sent you guys, he went to a hospital up in your neck of the woods, and I sent you guys over there, and thank you for doing that. But that's the kind of brotherhood that I get now from this club that I can't get at work. And I don't know if it's just time changing and mental, and the younger guys we're getting now. It's a... He's shaking his head vigorously.
I'm just waiting.
Yes. Oh yeah, he's going. See, I'm speaking to Jeff right now. I'm speaking to Jeff. But the younger generation that we're getting, there's just and not all of them. I'm a formal training officer in FTO. I train brand new rookies. So does PopEye, and of course Jeff's a supervisor, so he supervises us and the rookies. But it's just a different mentality. There's just not the respect, and so. And there's all this crazy world we're in. There's just all these politics that we have to deal with. And so there's just a lack of trust. Doesn't mean, like we've said in past episodes, I'm going to back those guys up at the drop of a dime. They're still my brothers. They're my coworkers. But I don't hang out with them off duty. And so I go to this motorcycle club. This is where, because I have a say here. I have a say who I work with in this club. I have a say who I hang out with. I have a say who I, want to spend my time with at work. Who they hire is who they hire. And yes, we're going to work together and I'm going to back them up. And, but here we have control. And like we talked in our last episode, nobody gets in here. And so to me, I think that's just my opinion on why so many law-abiding biker clubs are popping up. Number one, TV, industry, Hollywood. And then number two, even before that, we saw them, popping up, which I think is great. There's a lot of law-abiding biker clubs that are popping up now and not worrying about all this ridiculous 1% bullcrap, which we don't even, worry about. Just if you want to start a club, start a club. Screw all that stuff. That's long gone. That's to me, that's just done. It was a culture at one time, but you see it. You see a lot of these clubs, lab clubs popping up. They don't care, and there's really not anything they're having to deal with. So props to that. But okay. That's my 10 cents on why I think there's so many law-abiding biker. I think most of it is out brotherhood that people are seeking. First of all, we like to ride motorcycles. Second of all, we're getting the brotherhood that we're seeking out that we don't, that we're not getting at work. All right, there you go. There's something for you to chew on.
It's interesting. Go ahead and go to Sergio. I think you covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, you weren't listening at all. You weren't listening. Whatever. I saw you over there.
Yeah.
He was on.
Shut up.
He was on his phone texting.
Yeah.
Okay, and we spoke about this before in a previous podcast. Though the larger clubs, like say the Blue Knights, I don't mean to smash on the Blue Knights because
we're not smashing them. No, we're using them as an example, right?
They are the example. They are a huge organization. They are
the biggest
international.
LMC. Yep.
I had no interest in being a member of a club like that, so you will have, which is basically what happened here. You'll have groups of people who live and work with individuals with the common interest as far as motorcycle riding that will decide that, hey, what it is that will satisfy, our desires as far as riding bikes is concerned would be to, keep the tighter knit group.
All right.
Right together and then form their own clubs. I'm not an expert in the field by any stretch.
No, I don't know. We're just asking for your opinion. That's all.
I've never.
So you don't know why there's so many?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
You just think it's coincidence?
I guess. Long story short, I guess I can put it this way. I can understand why they would not want to be members of
certain groups.
The larger international or multi-state organizations, or clubs. I can understand why they would not want to.
You want to be a number.
So kind of what you're saying is you understand that the bigger clubs have been around, the lab clubs, but maybe the reason so many new ones are popping up is because they're smaller, tighter knit clubs.
Well, that's what worked for me. I mean,
I just reeled that. You see that?
Yeah.
That's what a host does right there.
Yeah.
Is I just reeled it in.
Yeah.
It took me 20 minutes to say that, didn't it?
Pretty much.
Well,
pretty much.
And we learned
listen to you.
We learned what bloviating is.
Yeah.
And I don't see any of these clubs.
We're happy to have you here, Jeff.
I don't see any of these clubs as wanting to become very large, multi-state, multinational organizations. They're just
not anymore. I agree.
No, they
Sworn
don't.
Fuse is going to take over the world.
They all seem to me
Pretty
to be the ones that I hear about anyway seem to be localized.
Yeah, we're heading for Putin next.
Yeah. We're gonna. Yeah. You heard of Putin? Putin's going to be talking to us here pretty soon.
Putin Tang.
We're going to be Putin Tang. We're going to be putting him on notice.
Okay,
So anyways,
Are we out of time now?
No, I can't wait to hear.
We'll just go long.
I can't wait to hear what Popeye's got to say.
we don't get very many times with Jeff in the studio, so
No, we don't.
I don't mind if we go a little longer
No.
on this, because this is actually
He's
a very...
wealth of knowledge.
Do you want me to keep going?
You're a wealth of knowledge. You're like a museum.
I didn't say that. I just said...
You ever heard of the Smithsonian?
All I can say is I just wish Law Dog was here.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been good, huh? Yeah, that would have been that much better.
No, we are over, but you know what? I'm okay, because this is a good subject, and I would hate to do another episode on this. So
Yeah.
it's your, and you finish, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'll
here we
wrap
go.
it up here pretty
Here's
quick.
straight from Popeye, round table.
I'm not gonna.
You heard it right here
won't-
first.
I won't take too long.
Can I make one note here?
Go ahead.
I did this without notes.
Had a boy. He
Because
did.
you didn't know how to use your notes.
That's why he was off track,
Yes, I
but he did
did.
it without notes. But
I can go anywhere without notes.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Okay.
you better have a thing.
I do. Is that I would say, and a guy that Sarge knows too, I respect, and
He's
got
a
some good
dumbass.
And he's got some.
I don't
good,
know who he is, but you're already saying he's a dumbass just in a nice way. Go ahead.
No, he's got a lot of good opinions, and like he says, he goes, people are inherently tribal. Everybody wants to belong to a tribe.
Talk in your mic,
Yeah,
even though you're
Okay,
reading.
My bad.
Good.
So yeah, people are inherently, like I said, they want to belong to a tribe. They want to be part of something. Now, all these people, they want to be, is it a cops club, is it a firefighters club, a military club, Republican, Democrat, a BMW club, a Honda club.
What
you
about
know,
a communist club?
what communist club? Yeah,
Nothing wrong
whatever
with
it
that.
is.
I like it.
Yeah. So basically, what they want to do is they want to hang out with friends. They want to hang out with like-minded people.
They want a motor that vibrates and a priapism.
Exactly. Yeah. And 93 BMW, specifically, if you get a club of 93 BMWs,
1100
that would be good.
I want to get in that club. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So no, I mean, basically, what these people want to do is they want to be a part of something bigger. They want to be a part. They want to be, they want to be with like.
They want to be loved.
So, yeah. So why?
I see the f***ing look in your eyes.
Sorry, they just want totally clips of the
so
heart.
what is it with all the clubs out there popping up? I would say that I think that you're kind of at a time, a time in society where the big 1%er club, the big motorcycle clubs, stuff like that, is kind of gone by the wayside. People aren't
Right.
It's worried about the motorcycling, the
That
stigma.
whole do we have to act permission and all this
the
bull crap.
stigma that comes
Yeah.
across with it, and these people want to be with like-minded people, and they're fine with opening up something. I think that's all really what it comes down to.
The 99%ers are finally taking charge because nowhere else, seriously, I was talking about this with somebody else yesterday, not to, we'll get back, but it's finally a time when we are the motorcycle majority. We are the 99%ers. Where else in society does 1% tell 99% what to do? That's changed.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's done. And you know what? We're stepping up to the plate.
Right.
The 99% are saying, no, that's gone.
Yeah.
1% is not going to tell us what
Right.
we can do.
Exactly.
So
You want to
I've
put a
seen
patch.
it.
You want to put a patch on your back, and you're not in a 1% club. Yeah, you're going to do it.
Yep.
And you're going to represent. You can do what you like. Now, to get back to what you guys
Yeah,
are
sorry.
talking
Go
about,
ahead.
though, a little bit of the whole how has law enforcement changed? Because that's it's what we all do.
That's actually a good, I wonder in your time how that's changed or you've seen anything.
Changed. He is the change.
You're right.
Yeah.
He is.
But you know
I
what?
bet he's seen changes even in 8 years.
But you know what I would say is that even Sarge would say is that I'm probably different than a lot of the new guys that come in, and the fact of that
You're retarded?
I have a
sorry.
military background.
Oh, yeah.
And the
True
thing
that.
is, I look at guys and I tell people all the time, even that have, my time or less time on than I do, is that I think a lot of people don't have the brotherhood unless they have, and I tell people, even if you were military, but if you were not deployed, if you did not go serve in a combat zone, you don't have that brotherhood. You just don't. And nowhere have I ever
point.
seen brotherhood as I have in a combat zone. And you come back, there's a couple of guys, and I can name them, that I work with who understand brotherhood, that I work around with every day, who are not in the military, never deployed, and like that. But there's very few people that are like that The vast majority of people, even if you were in the military, unless, like I said, unless you were actually deployed, they don't understand that brotherhood. So, like I say, I understand, from a, old school point of law enforcement, and they're talking about brotherhood. It's way different, because I can see it even for me. I don't see brotherhood in law enforcement like I see brotherhood in the military for people who have been deployed together. It's a very different thing.
That's awesome. That's a good insight, because, I've never been in the military. So, having served, that's good insight. Tight brotherhood in combat, right? That's good info. Yeah, good. Not as good as Harley-Davidson panty droppers.
No,
but
not quite as good.
But I was actually listening this time, and that was good info. So tight brotherhood. Yeah. So in law enforcement, what have you seen in our particular? What have you seen change in 8 years? I don't know if it has. Was there more brotherhood when you started 8 years ago? Or is it just the same for you?
No, it's the same.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think about the 10 years in is when it changed for me.
Yeah. But like I said, I think the thing for me is that I don't think it's changed. I think I could see the difference in people when I was even at the academy, for people who had served overseas.
Yep.
How they acted, what their perspective was on brotherhood as compared to people who were just out of college and all they had was a college degree, as to how they thought about things. I mean, and I think the reason is, people have a different perspective on life. I mean, what's important? I mean, everything could.
They
be
don't
gone
have a perspective.
No,
a lot
everything could be gone tomorrow.
It's a dog eat world, and we're all wearing milk bone shorts. That's what I'm saying.
We're out, baby.
We're not out yet. I want to just say donations. Couple donations.
Oh,
Pat Tagliarina from, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, from Garfield Heights, Ohio. Thank you so much, brother. If you want to donate, lawabidingbiker.com/donate. Don't forget about the Patreon page. That is the best thing to do, is just pledge a certain amount per piece of content. Thomas Alberta from Massapequa, New York. Shout out to the New York. That's right. Very substantial donation from Thomas.
Massapequa.
That's right.
Right.
So I just wanted to throw out a couple of those donations. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for listening. And I know we went a little bit over, but that's all right. I thought it was a pretty important subject. And all right, don't forget, call to action, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Pledge that very little amount for each piece of content so we can keep going with this thing. We don't have to have sponsors and all that. Lab podcast phone number 509-731-3548. Leave a message. We will play it. We need some voicemails, guys. We need some voicemails. Bring them on. Internet voicemail right from your computer microphone. lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail or voice message, email, or voicemail, all at the same place. lawabidingbiker.com/contact. All right, guys, don't forget about that free email club. You can get the special promo codes. The new auto tuner video is out, all that good stuff. lawabidingbiker.com/email club. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio. All our social media, we've made it super easy. lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes, Stitcher Radio, /Facebook, /Google Plus, all that good stuff, guys. Keep the rubber side down
and the shiny side up.
Attaboy. Thanks for being in the studio, guys. It's been awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the Law Abiding Biker podcast. Please listen to our next episode.
And I think that it kind of goes back to, some references that I made earlier as far as common denominators when you're talking about motorcycle riding. The one that I have out in your garage right now is my 5th. But when I, was growing up, the idea, if you to come back when I was a teenager, well, I'll put it to you simply this way to save some time too. The first exposure I ever had.
Yeah, if we're going to go back to when you were a teenager.
No.
I mean, God, we're going to be your...
Oh, geez.
Thing's only an hour.
The first exposure I ever had to something like a word processor, I was 21 years old, and it was in college. Those types of things did not exist. If you tried to tell anybody back then that this was coming, there wasn't anybody that could possibly fathom or think, about the way that the world exists today. and I think you hit it on it earlier, Ryan. The key word there is it is different. It's different. It is changed. The environment and the circumstances in which people grow up in now, doesn't even remotely resemble the way things were before. Can you imagine now a world without a cell phone?
No.
Okay. Back up 20 years. Could you explain to somebody what the world was going to be like in reference to cell phones? In reference to, to his age group? Is that I have seen the entire spectrum. Now, I am not as good, with the social media. I've got the pad in front of me, and I've struggled with it tonight. Got it to work for the most part, but I needed a little bit of help.
When I asked you if you want the pad earlier, you thought it was a maxi pad.
The advantage that I have is I've seen the entire spectrum. I'm not an expert the way things exist right now, but I have been able to see all of it evolve. And so I think that someone like myself is in a better position to lend out something along the lines of, we're talking about motorcycle clubs here. Everything else is aside. The social media is aside. The internet, the airwaves, the cell
World
phones,
Wide Web,
all that sort of stuff. Goes into the side bag or the back. You get on your motorcycle and you ride. That is the common denominator. You got a group of people now that just say, we just want to ride.
You're bloviating.
Yeah, going back to...
Hold on, time out. What was the word?
Bloviating.
Bloviating?
Yes.
I missed that episode.
Do you want me to look that up?
Yeah, no.
You guys go ahead and look that up. Bloviate. Yeah.
That means talk at length
The
in
environment.
an inflated or empty way. Oh, dude!
Popeye knows.
Did you really tell? He basically told you that you're talking in an empty way.
Yeah.
Popeye knows a little something.
I think it has to do with more along the lines of the environment that I grew up in versus the environment that Popeye grew up in.
He had no rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
His mama didn't say I
can't
love you
Made my
enough.
own rules.
you can't fault either one of us for that.
Yep.
It is what it is. When I first came into the business, the people that I work with,
Wider.
no matter where they were from, grew up in the same set of circumstances.
Yep.
And so the way that they looked at the job, the way that they looked at the people that they were working with was a product of their environment. And so was it a tighter knit group of people? Yes, it was.
But how about, when did you see the change in law enforcement in your 30-year career? When did you change? You said brotherhood was tighter back then, and I'm saying 8 years ago. That's my experience. When did you start seeing the downfall of our particular field of work?
I don't know if I'd want to use the word downfall. I think I'd be more along the lines to use the word change.
Yes, I definitely used the wrong word there. Change.
Change.
That's definitely administrator speaking there.
You
All right,
running
sorry.
for sheriff next year?
Oh, jeez. All right.
Well,
You're
for
right,
me,
you're
for
right.
me, I can't really give a specific time when that occurred. I think it was, as far as for myself, I started to notice it more when I became a supervisor.
Oh yeah, definitely. That just adds to it.
And then I had to turn around and tell these guys, this is what I want. And it would depend on where they came from, the environment they came from, the time frame that they came from, as far as the reaction that I would get. And I still see that today.
Yeah.
And it all has to do with, who this individual is, and, to put it bluntly, how old that individual is.
If his mom kissed him enough. Right.
I have people on my crew right now that I am the same age as their parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they don't see me as a father figure. I know that. But I look at them and I know that.
Daddy.
Yeah. But I know that, I'm talking about an individual because I can correlate them with my own kids. I mean, it's just the way it is. I don't treat them as such because they're professionals and they're expected to do the job.
That's a loose term.
Yeah, I disagree.
Using that term very loosely.
The advantage for me is that when I think of their mindset, and I know the generation and the circumstances and the environment that they came from, because I raised kids during that same time frame. I know what they were exposed to. I know that this is what these people were exposed to. They're different people than my own children, but they came up at the same time. They were exposed to the same environment. And so I, like I said, to put it short, I know where they came from. I know what their thought process is. I know what their experience has been. And that's what is left for me to deal with as far as, trying to guide them with what it is that I think needs to be done.
Dealing with a big mess.
Yeah, big mess. So
no.
What do you think about the as far as the mass law-abiding biker clubs popping up though? Tie it in with that.
Yeah.
Throw all that aside. Hop on a bike and go. That's basically when you're talking about motorcycle clubs.
Okay, sorry.
When you're talking about motorcycle clubs, what is it everybody wants to do?
Yeah, but how about law-abiding biker clubs? Because those have really popped up.
You're way off topic.
You're
a
just
mess.
you're bloviating.
You're a mess. You're bloviating.
No, law and okay, because
You want me to cover this for you?
I got your back, Jeff. I got your back here.
Listen, what it said here originally when I was looking at the notes, it said motorcycle clubs. It didn't say LEMCs. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
and
lab
you've,
clubs.
And you've
Them-
completely gone off topic.
We have narrowed it into LEMCs.
Now we're talking about Popeye's mom. We're way off topic.
As far as LEMs,
I think we got there yet.
You could still correlate that with LEMCs.
He's older than my mom is.
Jeez.
LEMC, you
but-
take someone who has a Harley Davidson or another American-made motorcycle who's 23, 24 years old, just started out in business.
Ride the
pair
hell
them
out
up,
of
Or
it.
any-
pair them up
any
with
bike.
someone else who also has an American-made who might be 20 years in the business. What's the common denominator there? Let's go ride.
Does it have to be American?
America. Harley.
Ours does.
Davidson
Well,
Motorcycles.
for our club, but yeah. I mean, really, all these clubs are popping up. Most of the lab clubs allow any bike.
That's true.
So
Can I bloviate?
you may, but I just want to
Or,
get his
excuse
take
me,
real
can I
quick.
opine?
I
I'd like
think-
to opine here.
You've been watching too much Bill O'Reilly.
I think LEMCs.
That's the only reason you know those words.
I think
knew it.
LEMCs are focused on the common interest. Everything else, as far as the environment, where they came from, whatnot, they all have the common interest.
Right.
And
But
that's
why
right.
do you think there's so many popping up? Man,
I don't know. It might be
it's like
geographics.
an attorney.
It might be just the geographics. As far as where they're from. We're here.
But all over the United States, I've seen it. If
Yeah.
you look at the internet, they're popping everywhere in a big way. More so probably than the last 20 years. We have more
I
that
can
have
tell
popped
you.
up in the last 8 years.
Okay, well-
and I bet you can. But it is Jeff's turn.
Sarge's turn.
Here's
I'm reeling him in.
one last point here is that I know you've covered in previous podcasts
Darn right we have.
the
Bloviating.
I'm trying to find the word here as far as the public perception of
Opine?
them. Public perception of them. Not only the public perception, but OMG investigators and whatnot, as far as their perceptions, as far as
There's some
as these
idiots and there's
clubs.
some good ones. But yes, just like everything.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've read a lot about that. For me, I just, I respect the job that they do. I respect their knowledge in those areas. I think that as far as, like, say, for instance, and all I can talk about is our club here. That's something that to me is, they're off base.
All right.
I think one final factor, if I could.
Well, you go ahead. Bloviate
Well,
all you want.
The one thing just to add in is, as far as modern day, as far as social media, is the availability of the information as far as motorcycle riding is concerned that wasn't, back in my day.
True that. This podcast
Yeah.
is
So,
prime point.
yeah.
We're getting out to the whole world here from
And
this
so-
from my little studio office here.
We are
you
we are talking about cops. You can talk about everybody, but we're talking about cops specifically here,
we are some, yeah.
which are the same as everybody else, in that
Yep.
respect. As far as the enjoyment of it. When I had 3 bikes, and then I decided, okay, I will not get another one until it's a Harley Davidson, and which I did in 2006. And since that time, I've ridden in every state, halfway across the United States in that time frame, just simply because of the love of the riding.
Bloviating.
And then when you're talking about the younger generation getting involved in motorcycle riding and forming these clubs, just that's the common denominator. Just the idea of the information that's available out to them now that was not back then. As far as
He's just Popeye's throwing you off track, isn't he?
no. I think it's just a matter. It's a different time.
Yep.
It's a different time, and there's a lot of differences out there. People have common interests. Cops group together.
Were there
like
certain
other
types
walks
of
life.
horses you guys like to ride, and now
Oh,
you're just like,
geez.
Nope.
no?
Nope.
That's just all right.
You couldn't resist that.
I couldn't. You know what?
I've never heard that one before.
You haven't?
Keys for you.
I haven't heard that one before.
Well, it's on
Have
here.
you used it?
Yeah, I have.
Have you? Oh,
I
okay.
have.
The horse-drawn carriage.
Yep.
You know, when you're overseas and you look at how people live, how people, go about their daily lives, and how you go about your daily life overseas is very different than what it is in the States.
Yeah.
And I think that, it takes a military person to understand that.
So you
And
think
like
a
I
lot
said,
of
I
the
understand there's a
Brit-
difference.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between my age of law enforcement and Sarge's age.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I have a whole lot of respect for where he's coming from, what he's done. I mean, and like I said, how
You ever been shot with a black powder rifle? Ain't funny. It ain't funny. Ken, I'm just saying.
no.
No. So, on a real note, why do you think, though, reel it back in, and I love that insight, why is it that the law-abiding biker clubs are growing so fast, though? Is it because of the military? Because we've had so many... See, this is a whole different thing that I hadn't thought of. Is it because there's so many military guys coming back?
No.
It's not? What is it?
No, like you said, I think it's just that it's like, you go back like tattoos. Tattoos is way more mainstream now than it used to be. I think that people are they decided that they're going to do kind of what they want. They're not going to be prisoner to the 1% club.
So that's part of it. See, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, what they can and
It's a
can't
good
do.
insight, yeah.
And they're just kind of not going to be a prisoner or subject to that anymore. And if they want to make a club, they're making a club. But you've got, like I say, you've got a group of people who are like-minded